The moment she smirked, I knew it wasn't my wife standing beside me. It was her mother, Louise, standing there wrapped in wealth and vanity, her ridiculous oversized pearls swaying like the crown jewels, her flute of champagne raised not in celebration, but in conquest. She leaned in, her breath reeking of victory. "He gets nothing," she whispered, that cruel little curl of her lips slicing more than any blade ever could. I made sure of it. Then she laughed, that dry, privileged upper-crust chuckle, the kind people like her use when they believe they'd already won. But the lawyer cleared his throat, slow and calm like he already knew the reckoning was coming. "Ma'am," he said, folding his hands gently, "you can't amend a trust that already transferred $50 million last year." Just like that, Louise's face turned a shade I'd never seen on a living person. Not pale. White, bone white. But to understand that moment, you have to rewind the tape. I gave that family 15 years. 15 years of sleepless nights, high-stakes negotiations, and clawing a crumbling logistics wing from the grave. I turned it into a billion-dollar engine. I wrote every line of code that built their infrastructure. I took their name global. And when Louise's husband died, I didn't just grieve. I carried her. I buried him with dignity, comforted my wife, held the company together with bloodied fingers while the family collapsed in silk and silence. I believed loyalty would be repaid. I was wrong. The first fracture came quietly, at dinner. Jenna, my wife, looked at me like a stranger, polite, distant, like I was a guest overstaying my welcome. Her phone, always face down. She used to call me her gravity. Now I was background noise. One evening, I walked into the study and found her and Louise murmuring over wine. They stopped the moment they saw me. Jenna smiled too fast. Louise, with her predator calm, added, "Just some estate housekeeping. Nothing to trouble you with, dear." Dear. She always used that word when she was hiding poison behind pleasantries. So I watched, and the betrayal revealed itself in tiny, meticulous slivers. A lawyer's card hidden behind a jewelry box. A shredded trust document in the trash. Her brother, Connor, the one who once called me the only adult in this circus, started strutting into meetings like he held a secret deed. Then I found the email. Louise had written it to a lawyer. Asterisk, he's not family. He's an employee with a ring. After the restructuring, he's out. No mess. Jenna signs next week. Asterisk. I read it twice. My hands weren't trembling. Not angry, yet. Just cold. I didn't scream. You don't shout when the knife first enters. You breathe slower. You wait, and then you plan. I copied everything. Emails, documents, memos. I hired a forensic accountant, and then a private investigator. They'd already started bleeding me out, moving assets to a new holding company, my name scrubbed clean, my voting shares quietly diluted, my legacy being amputated piece by piece. They thought I wouldn't notice, thought I was too devoted, too blind, too small. But what they didn't realize is I was never a pawn. I just knew how to wait. My revenge didn't start in courtrooms. It began with bait. I approached them and claimed burnout. Told them I wanted to retire. Louise practically clapped. Jenna blinked away fake concern. I said I didn't want a severance. Just wanted to be cared for. Asterisk included in the trust. Asterisk like family. They agreed. Eagerly. That was step one. Step two had already happened. 6 months before, I convinced Charles, our aging family lawyer and the trustee, to initiate a conditional transfer of company stock. $50 million. Signed, sealed, activated, filed away under retention incentives. What they didn't know was once those shares moved, there wasn't a single clause in hell that could bring them back. Step three, the stage. At the company's annual gala, I asked for 5 minutes. They assumed it was a farewell speech. Louise wore velvet. Jenna brought her parents to the front row. I stepped beneath the lights, looking out at the crowd. Investors, reporters, employees. This company was built on trust. I said calmly, but lately that trust has been tested, not by our competitors, by those within. The room fell still. Some thought I was expendable. That bloodline's outranked contribution. That loyalty could be punished. I turned to the screen. Numbers appeared. Financials live, undeniable. I quietly transferred my holdings last year. I am now the single largest shareholder in this company. Gasps, cameras, whispers rising like a storm. And while retirement sounded tempting, I'll be staying on as chairman, effective immediately. Louise's expression cracked like shattered porcelain. Jenna's lips moved, but no words came. Her father's empire, the one I built, was now legally mine. In the boardroom after the gala, Jenna confronted me, her voice thin. "Why didn't you tell me?" I looked at her. No anger, no bitterness, just clarity. "You signed me away," I said. "I just signed back." She reached for my arm. I stepped away. "Don't. You always chose her. You always will." Then came the final reckoning. A private trust meeting. Louise, still clinging to her delusion of control, stormed in like a matriarch from a fading dynasty. She saw my name on the ledger and sneered. "He gets nothing," she said, certain. I made sure of it. Then the lawyer laid down the papers. "Ma'am, you can't alter a trust that already transferred $50 million last year." And there it was, her soul draining through her skin. She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. No lies. No commands. Just silence. I didn't speak. I didn't have to. The silence said everything. Now, I wake up in a home she'll never step foot in again. The company runs smoother than ever. I promoted those they overlooked. Cut out the rot. Jenna filed for divorce within a month. No alimony. No shares, no second chances. She sent me one message. 3 words. "Did you ever love me?" I didn't reply. Because love doesn't matter once it's drowned beneath betrayal. Some men scream. Some punch walls. I remembered every smirk, every signature, every whispered plan behind closed doors. They thought I was a loyal dog, but I was a wolf. Patient, watching, silent. They say I lost everything. But the truth? I took everything before they even knew it was gone.